Well, a fabulous story of 21st century capital meeting land restitution and creating a model which it's hoped will provide an income stream to a community for generations to come. Malcolm Segal is director at Mdluli Safari Lodge and joins us on the line this evening. Malcolm, welcome to The Money Show again. I mean, this is a story of land that was taken as the old government expanded Kruger Park, and after a long process, the Mdluli clan finally got the land back. I mean, I've got it right so far, right?
You do indeed, Bruce. Good evening. It is a truly South African story, fortunately, with a wonderful ending.
Okay, so let's go to the history of it, if you would. It's the 1960s. The Kruger Park is being expanded. The Mdlulis are kicked off the land. When did they get the land back? Because this is within the greater Kruger National Park nowadays, isn't it?
Well, not even the greater Kruger National Park. It's within the borders of the Kruger National Park itself, seamlessly so. So you have this anomaly of community-owned land now within the borders of the Kruger Park. Yes, but specifically with the advent of democracy in 1993, 1994, the then Chief Nkosi MZ Mdluli made stringent, strong representation to the then Minister of Land Affairs, interestingly enough, subsequently Minister of Tourism, Derek Hanekom, and persisted, and the community got restitution of their land. Now, that in itself is extremely interesting because subsequent to that, these days, if there is a land claim in an environmentally protected area, and there are many of them, the law has been changed that the affected communities now get financial compensation and not restitution of their land. So this really is a very unique situation.
And then we've got a generation or two generations that have been born and have died and have grown up without access to what the land can provide. And it's also added complexity because now it's within a national park and it's wild and it's scary. How then do you monetize it in a way that gives a cash flow to a community that desperately needs it? And Mdluli Safari Lodge is part of that.
Yeah, so the Mdlulis are, a community who are quite destitute, who now live on the western borders of the Kruger National Park. It has sadly taken 20 years for whatever the reasons are to get the lodge off the ground, and that's maybe a story for another day. But now, fortunately, the land has been restored, the lodge has finally been built, and the community benefit in several ways. I mean, immediately they get a bed levy per person who sleeps at the lodge every single night. They also get rental for their land on a monthly basis. And most importantly, they are 50% partners in the profits of the development.
And just to explain, I mean, it's a big development. It's 50 tents that could accommodate a maximum of 4 people, two adults and 2 kids. It's done you've set it up as part of a Section 12J investment opportunity. And let's not dwell too much on that, but it's an opportunity for people like myself, people listening to the radio, to actually invest money into Mdluli Lodge to get a return as well. It seems like the pie is being spread quite thinly. Well,
once we finally got through all the bureaucratic processes, all the environmental processes, there are a number of authorities who are involved in getting readying this land for development. Obviously, a key issue was to raise the capital. So this is the first phase. It's 50 luxury tents, as you point out, and a tent, because of their size and comfort, can comfortably sleep 4, generally intended for 2 children below the age of 12. But we then embarked on a Section 12J process to raise the capital. And this is really very, very specifically what Section 12J is intended for, because given the history of the project, it's a community project, it has other risk factors to it, it would have been extremely difficult to raise the capital or to raise the funding in the normal commercial markets. So we then utilized the structure of Section 12J, which on a risk-adjusted basis makes it attractive for investors to invest their capital in the lodge. It's a 10-year instrument. And the innovation that we introduced is that in addition to the usual financial returns one would expect from a Section 12J, dividend on an annual basis, repayment of your capital over a period of time in due course, we've introduced an innovation that the investors get a free bed night depending on the quantum of the investment. So, for example, if you invest 500,000, you would be entitled to 25 free bed nights per annum for 10 years, a bed night being dinner, bed, breakfast, and a game drive. And the imputed value of that is really extraordinary. And for Kruger Park lovers, for game lovers, as people have said to me, it's an absolute no-brainer.
Malcolm Segal. Well sold. Thank you. Director at Mdluli Safari Lodge. It looks beautiful. I've been online today and I've got bush envy. And I visited 2 Kruger Park concessions in the past. One was brilliant. One was horrible. It lacked soul completely. It had an Indian investor who really wasn't engaged with the process at all. And just, it was just tragic. And it's just wonderful that the local community, the Mdluli community, is engaged. They've got a huge interest in ensuring that it works, that it retains its character, and that you get a great experience. And there's an investment angle to this as well. Malcolm Segal, thank you very much indeed. Director at Mdluli Safari Lodge.